Hey everybody, Ron Burke, Editor-in-Chief for GamingTrend.com. Thank you for joining me once again for our playthrough of Cities Skylines II. If you joined us last time, you know that we just made our transition from a large village to a grand village. Soon we'll be transitioning from villages to hopefully towns, and that'll be our objective today, to move from a grand village to a tiny town. Before we get started, I did tinker around with something earlier that I don't know how I overlooked it, but we can have music. I don't know why I didn't look at the radio volume right there, but yes, we're going to enable the radio and just turn it down a little and see if we can get some music going in the background. Just like that. Now we got some music. I am still going to turn it down some because that is extraordinarily loud, but just the same. There we go, a little background music to do our building. Now we have some new demands here from our citizens. Looks like we're looking for high density residential. That's going to be our large skyscraper style dwellings, places for people to live, apartments. And then we also have office demands. So our higher income folks probably will work in an office. That's also going to push some other things like the need for higher education. So without further ado, let's get to it. Now the question is, where are we going to put this office park, and where are we going to put our new high-density residential? So my plan is to just spur off of the bottom of this. We've got the welfare office over here. We've got high school, and we've got college over here, and elementary school over here, and of course the cemetery. Very important. Actually, I don't think we actually have a college yet. So perhaps we need to invest in that. We'll have to take a look at what we can do to get some colleges going. That's some pretty hefty upkeep, but it would give us an opportunity to pull in some additional high-end knowledge workers. They're also very expensive, $750,000. Now, it's not like the real world where I can just simply write all of that off and make the city pay for it. Instead, no, we're going to have to pay for it out of our pocket. So I can't just have a bond or something like that and make all of our citizens cough up the dollars for it. We'll have to do it the old-fashioned way. So I think the first thing to do is we're going to break off another grid here and go like so, and just kind of build out some additional spaces. I know I'm making some really boring decisions here in terms of shapes, but sometimes boring is good. I'm also going to start doing some crosstown traffic here. It's important that folks be able to get all the way across the city. It does suck for people that, just built a house there, but sorry, buddy. I got nothing for you. That's just the way it is. You stood in the way of progress. I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what the complaint is there. Condemned. This building is in the wrong zone or outside the zoning grid and will be demolished soon. Huh, that's weird. I don't think I did anything that would cause them to be demolished, but let me help. We will flatten some buildings here. I don't know why those are now popping up. It's kind of weird. Alright. Well, that's fine. We'll rezone it, and hopefully that'll solve the problem. Those were... Alright, hopefully that solves that. I'm not sure what the problem was, but... Man, again, what's with the weird zoning thing? It's super weird. I also don't know why I can't zone this one little stripe there, but that's how you end up with parks. Alright, so I think we solved that problem. So let's go ahead and fill in some... Well, hold on. Is that demand for low rent housing? What is that? High density residential demand. Well, we don't actually have that unlocked. We need to actually get to a big town for that. How can they demand something I can't do? Well, that's kind of miserable. Well, what I can do is put down some office zones. Office zones house companies that produce immaterial goods and services. Services such as software and telecommunications for private citizens and other companies. Low-density office zone allows for single-story or low-rise buildings for small businesses. Zoning land for office space will allow for businesses creating immaterial goods to start moving in. Offices will continually need new resources, but these are immaterial goods. Physical connections such as large roads are not as important for offices as they are for other zones. Offices will, however, require skilled employees, so having a well-built education system is beneficial. Which is kind of what I was talking about earlier. But we're going to go a little heavy on this space for now and see how that goes. We'll unfreeze time here, and oh, power keeps going out. I wonder if that's the buildings I condemned. I'm going to guess that it probably is. I'll go ahead and knock down those two buildings that are just angry. And just like that, they're already being rebuilt, so that's fine. Sewers need an upgrade. Not that I've seen. We're getting some strange complaints. It's not really jiving with the actual reality of the situation. Alright, what we do have, though, is some parks and recreation. Recreation buildings, areas, and parks increase the attractiveness of your city. Having an attractive city adds to the well-being of citizens and promotes tourism. To increase the variety and size of the parks available, unlock the Park Maintenance Depot in the Progression panel. So, these offer outdoor recreation, but they're not a cure-all for putting down things to clear the air. That's kind of a change, because this was almost like a cheat code for cleaning up the air around areas. It seems like that's not going to really work. We also unlock public transportation. Different means of public transportation offer convenient ways for citizens and tourists to move around for goods to be delivered. Well-organized public transportation decreases traffic congestion and lowers the overall cost of transportation. Using buses, trains, ships, and airplanes for passengers lowers the cost of traveling for citizens and tourists. Public transportation makes it possible for more people to easily visit your city and bring in tourism revenue. Citizens using public transportation have more money to use on goods and services, and with good public transportation coverage, people can quickly move to where they need to go. Cargo transportation. Using trains, ships, and airplanes for transporting cargo lowers the cost of shipping goods and materials. This results in more businesses that are profitable and able to provide jobs and pay taxes. When the production of goods and materials is going well in the city, any surplus can be exported for further profit. Well, let's see what we unlocked. A bus depot. Here we go. Buses are the easiest way to start a public transportation network in your city. They offer citizens and tourists a convenient way to get around and decrease traffic congestion. To start a bus service, you will first need a bus depot. The bus depot houses a fleet of buses and has facilities to handle their maintenance. A good place to build your bus depot is somewhere away from high traffic and with room to expand later. Bus depots don't need to be in the immediate vicinity of the area where your buses operate. Bus lines do not need to pass through depots, and a single depot can supply buses for multiple lines. Make sure buses going from out of the depot have road access to your planned route and that it's still close enough for efficient operation. Build a bus depot. Alright. I've kind of been saving space here, specifically for this, because I want people to be able to get to where they need to go, but I also want to be able to keep this kind of out of the way. If it's anything like the previous game, this is another area where it's going to cause a little bit of pollution, because we're talking about a bunch of nasty, buses kicking up terrible emissions. Bus stations work as large bus stops, and a single station can accommodate several bus lines. Stations can also be upgraded and expanded to include taxi services. Bus stations can handle a high number of passengers, but are not required to start a bus line. To create a bus line, you'll need a bus stop, which buses use to pick up and drop off passengers. Bus stops can be placed on either side of the road wherever you want buses to stop to make a stop along the line. Bus stops can create a short stopping lane on the road where they're placed. Bus shelter is an alternative to the bus stop. Shelters are more expensive to build, but provide passengers with a nicer place to wait for the bus, especially in bad weather. Changing the theme will also change the style of bus stops and shelters. The change is not applied to previously built bus stops and shelters. Bus stop placement. To make a bus line, you need at least 2 stops. Well, that tracks. Place them in the locations that are convenient for citizens. Stops can either be bus stops, bus shelters, or bus stations. Keep an eye on which side of the road you place your stops in, as it affects the routes buses take. Stops can always be moved later in case you misplace them or wish to change where the bus line runs. Build at least 2 bus stops. Well, first we need to build some road, because we don't have a direct connection to our bus stop. But we do What don't you like? Oh, this is a smaller road. See, this is where you can get yourself in trouble. I built a smaller road, and now I'm kind of tied to it. I will have to upgrade that eventually. Alright, well, we've got the bus stop now. Or the bus depot. So now we need to build some bus stops. So bring that up again. A bus stop. North American style simple bus stop stand. A bus stop shelter. So it's $50 or $400. I don't know. It seems kind of a no-brainer. $400 so people can stay out of the rain. That seems. It just seems like a good idea. So I'm gonna throw this downtown here and around these high rises. I'm gonna go ahead and throw one there, and we'll also put a few down here. So we have some stops for people that need to get to work. I know I'm kind of going haphazard on these, but I think it's one of those things where I've got the opportunity to improve people's situation by giving them public transportation. I want to do that. Especially when I start putting down lower income housing. People don't think about it, but just the act of getting to work can be a real challenge for people. And, you know, not everybody owns a car. And even if you do, the maintenance on a car is insane when you're living paycheck to paycheck. So, you know, maybe it's just me being nuts, but I really think about, you know, the realities of people's situation, and not everybody's situation is the same. So I want to try and build cities that cater to people of all stripes, which means I'm going to spend a dumb amount of money trying to build out infrastructure to make things easy. Alright, that seems like more than enough bus stops. We haven't really built out this area, but when we do, I'll put some bus stops down there as well. Alright, the bus line tool is used to connect bus stops, shelters, and stations in a loop, creating a bus line between the selected stops. There's no limit to how many lines are able to use a particular stop, so several different lines can share stops. Create a bus line. Select each stop, shelter, and station in the order you'd like the bus line to operate. Nope, now we get talking in the background. Complete the loop by selecting the stop you started the line with. The line will automatically follow the correct traffic lanes. If you have stops on opposite sides of the road, the line will turn back around by using the closest available roads. When you completed the line, buses will automatically be sent out from the bus depot to begin the operating line. Alright. So, I guess the first thing I need to do is just start my lines. So this is kind of running the core of the city. Can I... Oh, I see what it means about putting them on the opposite side of the road. Okay. I probably would have gone about this a little differently if I'd thought about it, because that's a long way to turn back around. Yeah, so I'm going to actually stop and correct some of these lines and move them to the opposite side of the road. Can I just pick them up, or do I need to destroy them? Color, can I just select them and move them? There we go. Alright, we'll move it to the opposite side of the road. Spotting these is gonna be fun. Alright, there we go. Move that opposite side of the road. And we'll alternate. Because I'll set up multiple lines. We'll have different lines running to different parts of the city. And that's how it should be, right? You don't want to be on a bus forever. Just because the line runs for a really long time. Oh, I can't spot these easily. Alright, maybe if I bring them up again. It would be nice to be able, instead of just building the line, to be able to just grab these and move them without having to shuffle them like this. Alright, this side of the road, that side of the road. this side of the road, so I need opposite side of the road on these ones. Oh, yeah, I see the taxi. We've got taxis running around our city now. So we'll need to work on taxi services at some point in the near future. Alright, these are kind of running the outside edge, so I'm going to move them onto the inside edge. I know I'm doing all this for demonstration purposes, so I'm doing it quickly. But I hope that you're at least getting the general idea of how everything works in the game. Alright, let's try that again. So, I've built a ridiculous number of lines. Let's start from the right here, work my way around. So hit there. We're going to hit this outside edge. Circle back around. Inside edge. Alright, I've connected that route. It's a nice short bus line there. Then we'll do the same thing here. We'll run this bus line. We'll kind of do inside edge, then outside edge, and circle back around. Doesn't exactly go the way I want it. Alright, there we go. I can create a waypoint. So you can kind of force the lever a little bit and say, I want you to go this way. Come around the roundabout. And then come back to here to complete the second route. I am no city planner, so I don't know if these are great routes, or horrible routes, or what. But I'm hoping that they're good routes. Come on, you, obeying traffic laws. Alright, these are just going to be horrible. Alright, the last one to connect are these ones over here. Alright, those are all connected, so people can get around from there to there. It's gonna have to be a good start. Let's just go from there and see how it goes. Alright. Did that. To relocate a stop, close the transportation menu. Yeah, we did that. We did that already. Removing bus stops. Yep, you can bulldoze them without affecting the line. That's nice. Rerouting bus lines. If you like your line to follow a different path from one that's automatic. Yep, we already did that. We kind of discovered it by process. You can create a waypoint to force the lever. Alright, so we now have a successful bus line, I hope. To alleviate traffic jams caused by people coming into the city, you can make bus line connections to the outside world. Alright. Connecting bus line to the outside connection. Move around and locate the outside connection marker at the edge of the map of the area. You don't need to own the map tile all the way to the other marker. You just need to have one tile with a part of the road that leads to the marker. You'll need at least one bus stop in your city. Make sure your bus stop is on a road that has access to the marker. Select the bus line tool and create a line by selecting one or more bus stops, including the outside connection marker to stop in your bus line. You also connect the outside connection marker to the existing line by dragging and dropping the line to the connection point. So pretty much do the same thing and just connect it to the outside shelter, I guess. I don't see that connection, but let's try and drop this one and see if we can just connect that to the outside world. Can it just go? Yeah, I'm really not seeing how that connects. I'm not seeing the point at which it wants me to connect this to, so we might have to come back to that because I'm not seeing it. So now we'll see the bulldozer function. Bye-bye. Oh, nobody likes that. Okay, fine. Well, Life's tough. Get a helmet. Alright. Bus line built. Want to do a quick check, make sure our crime is good. We still have good coverage with our police department. We have solid coverage with our fire department. No real complaints there. Seems like we're good on that. Our education is kind of lacking. Our elementary school doesn't cover all the way back here, so I do need to relocate, or I need to locate another elementary school back here. Seems like a good opportunity to drop one in right there, make for some happy citizens. Similarly, our high school doesn't stretch that far in the opposite direction, so we're getting a little thin out here where we've got high density housing. So we might need to drop a high school somewhere in here. Seems a little weird to do that on the backside of a bunch of office buildings, but stranger things have happened. I mean, I guess I can kind of stick that on the side of Vermont Street here. Why not? Alright, well, that made for some happy citizens, I hope. But now we at least have a pipeline for elementary school and high school. College, I mean, that's almost everything I have right now, so I might have to wait a little bit on this until I see some revenue from some of these other buildings. Either way, I think we've done a ton of stuff, and now we need to just turn this loose and see what happens. Transportation overlay. So this is going to give us a look at what our utilization is, how many stops, how many buses, how many passengers, so we can see if this is profitable or not. I mean, right now it's anybody's guess. All transportation lines and routes you've built so far are shown here. They're divided into categories of public transportation lines and cargo routes. You can view and adjust each line and route separately. Find the right lanes. Oh, hello, achievement. Have buildings from all 4 zone types in a single city. There we go. Find the right lines and routes by selecting the type of transportation vehicle they're related to. Yep, bus lines. And you can name them. So, awful route number 1, awful route number 2, you know, that kind of thing. I do like this. So you can see, here's my ticket price, how many vehicles are assigned, what is their schedule, what kind of color do they look like, how many stops. So you can see, is that a good route or not? I am going to condemn this building, apparently. How did you squeeze yourself outside the city? Off you go. And I don't know what's going on with this place, but they just cannot seem to get... They just can't seem to not get enough customers. People don't want the cookie dough, I guess. But in lack of any other way to make this work, I will fix it a different way. Look at that. And now it will be rebuilt as something else. Sorry, buddy. Find your need and fill it. These folks are waiting for mortuary services. Sorry that's taken a while. Leto Electronics. No vehicles. Oh, hold on. Polaris Suites. Residents will enjoy the atmosphere of this smooth, luxurious building. Smooth and luxurious. I don't know where that no transportation or no vehicles thing went, but there it is. Oh, and gone. Alright, seems like we're alright. Bus depots, yep, our buses are heading out now. We can see that. We can make them electric buses. Wow, okay, that's really expensive, but I really want to get to that. I really, really do. So we'll see. Yeah, you can see, look at that. 10 buses are out and about. Oh, now 11 buses are out and about, trying to make the city a more livable place. So fingers crossed. It would be nice if that turns into something amazing. I do think I'm going to have to move this coal plant again. It's sitting kind of awful close to these buildings. Oh, man. That's rough. But I just don't see any other path other than that. I'm going to have to build out some additional roads and just stick this thing out in the middle of nowhere. But in the meantime, let's continue with our bad city planning. Keep cutting lines through here. We'll leave them unzoned for now and see what sort of demand we have. People still want that medium density or high density building type that we don't have. That looks like high density residential. We just don't have that. I mean, can't build what I don't have access to, folks. But that looks like that's going to be the home of our new power station. I think it's time to look at some different options, though. So, air, we just don't have a ton of power. 3.5 out of 5 megawatts for this one. Looks like our production is currently 22 and we're using 10. So, I mean, if I built 5 of these things, maybe 6 or 7, I think I'd be alright. So I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to stick a few of these out here and see what we can accomplish. It seems like that circle needs to be fully within the city limits, so we'll do that. These are supposed to turn directly towards the wind. Seems like they're starting to do that. This is a pretty big expense, but I mean, if we're going to go green, let's do it. Alright, so we've got power now. I'm going to run this underground. And we'll connect, well, let's connect them all together to start. Alright, and then we're going to connect into the existing power lines.
And you know what that means, folks. It means we're not running things close enough.
Well, no.
Alright, well, we're now producing 55 megawatts of power, including this one that's not connecting for some reason. What is your problem, sir? Again with this. I don't understand why sometimes I just fight with these power lines. But we're good. We've got a ton of power now. It's not turning into a ton of profits, but oh boy, here we go. I'm gonna power it down and see if that helps reduce the pollution. And we'll see what happens with power production and see what it does. We're still producing 33 and we're even exporting 22 of it. So we're still in good shape, even using purely renewable energy power. So fingers crossed that continues. If it does, I will decommission this power plant and that's it. We won't have coal power anywhere in the area anymore. So I guess we'll see. Well, I put down all of those, all of these low-density offices, but nobody moved in. So I don't know about that demand. It seems like that demand might have been a little overstated. Looks like we did unlock a new way to produce some money, though. Let's drop some forestry. We're just going to put that, let's see, road required. Which way is the front, though? Oops. Well, I didn't mean to do that. Alright. No way to move it, though. We're going to bulldoze it. Try again here. Forestry. What was that? Oh yeah, specialized. Alright. Forestry. Rotate this around. So the road is connected. And then we're going to basically tell them to harvest up these trees. Hoover them up. Let's do it. In valid shape. What do you want? Well, I'm not sure why that doesn't connect. Alright, I have no idea if I just set this up correctly or if I set it up with no functional use. Oh man. Let's try this again. We'll drag this out here. You're killing me, Smalls. Absolutely killing me. Drag this edge out. Is it as simple as that? Overlapping items. Okay, now I see the brown. Well, I know it's overlapping. I'm wanting to harvest all the overlapping stuff. Do that. If I keep fighting with this, what is this here that's complaining about? There's some rocks here? Who cares? What is that? Ruined stone head formation. Well, you're going to get relocated because I have other things to build. I would like to congratulate the owners of this stonehead formation that will end up somehow in Summit Street or nearby. Boom, just like that. Look at the stoneheads you just inherited. Huh? Huh? Nice. Enjoy. All right, back to our grid here. Let's continue to expand this because I would like to be able to harvest all of this wood. And it looks like I can. That's 433 tons, I think. I think that'll be money in the bank. I guess we'll see. Alright, 5 out of 7. Soft Ends is the name of the company. Alright, well, knock yourself out there, Soft Ends. Get to work. This pollution's still horrible down here, which is unfortunate. Alright, let's take a look at what else we've unlocked. So now we can look at city stats, and we should start to see... We're starting to make a little bit of money. Office wealth is completely flat. We just don't have any office buildings, and I don't know why. I don't know why they're not interested in services here. I guess it's got to be the education. I guess we got to bite the bullet. Let's start educating people. Welcome to college, folks. See if I can jam a college somewhere in this town. I mean, we're not doing bad. We've got 27 uneducated, 38.9% poor. Okay, that is terrible. Sorry, never mind. I thought we were doing okay, but that's just horrible. All right, we're gonna jam this right here. Right next to the welfare office, we now have a college. Create a district. Service buildings can be assigned city districts, and assigned the buildings will function as a local service to the assigned district. Unassigned buildings provide their services everywhere within the operational radius. Alright, the operational radius looked like it was pretty huge. But before we get all excited about doing craziness, we're down to 380,000 bucks. Wow, I really hope that works. I hope that brings in some education for our citizens, because man, we are down to the wire on dollars here. It is weird though that it's still asking me to plant down housing that I just don't have access to. And that dark green, unless I'm misreading it, is high density residential, and I just don't have access to that. I got medium, I got low rent, but I do not have high density. Sorry folks, I just can't build what I don't have unlocked. Grain farming. I don't see anything that would be grain farming. I don't see any grain to farm, unless it's somehow all this green. But I don't think that's right. I think this is still, yeah, it's still the soft end stuff. We're still very much in the red. Trying to figure out how best to capitalize. Got a livestock farm over here. Don't see any livestock. What are we growing here, folks? What are we doing? I don't think this is one that I need to build out more specialized area for it. I mean, they have a little tiny farm here, but they're not even filling that. So the one employee there is certainly efficient, though. 106% efficient. All right. That pollution's still not going away. Wish I had a better way of doing something about that. All right. Resident will enjoy. Yeah. So I guess we'll throw down this mega suite here and make some folks happy. We just got to figure out where we're going to plant this thing. It's got to be somewhere that's going to attract some folks. So I don't know. Maybe we just slam it down here and say, "Welcome to the city." There we go. Welcome to the city. And we'll see what kind of effect that has. But I am going to start bringing in some additional housing here. We'll bring in some medium density stuff and see if that quells that demand. I'm just not seeing how else to do that. We do need some affordable housing. I think I'm going to stick that near the college here. Yeah, well, I guess we'll see. So 5 residents. I'm not sure. Oh, okay. Now it's starting to go up. Okay, it's starting to fill in. That works. Living near industrial areas is terrible. Yes, I completely agree. I completely agree. I don't know what you want me to do about it. The fun part about dealing with your citizenry, they're never happy. Alright, garbage services still seem to be doing okay. Landfill's still well within spec. I mean, we're barely storing anything. We're handling what we've got. 108% efficiency. Things seem to be going well. Bus depot, fully staffed. 14 buses. I hope people are happy with the services we're providing. Alright, that demand went away. So that's good. So now we've got another commercial demand spike. So let's fill that and see if maybe that'll help get things back on track in terms of tax revenue. We'll fill all this in and see how it goes. Might need to expand our bus routes, as crazy as it is to say that, but things are starting to work out there. Alright, more tax dollars. Let's bring in some more low-density housing, I suppose. I mean, I can't give these folks much closer homes to where they work than that. You've got office spaces, commercial spaces, even industrial. And to celebrate the horribleness of how close these are, we're going to call this the Pollution Bridge. Welcome to Awful Town, Population U. Sorry, folks. I mean, these people complain about the smog, but I don't have a way to get rid of the smog. So I guess let's start looking at parks. Parks tend to make folks happy. It improves the attractiveness of the area. That might help with some of this grossness. It does mean I'm gonna have to knock down somebody's house to put up a park, but you know what? I'm gonna throw that there. That makes for some happy citizens. I'd like to try and get rid of all this red, if it's possible. Oh, an air quality alert, you think? There we go. There's another park. Oh, I don't want people using masks. That's horrifying. Come on, man. This is my city. Don't yuck my yum. That's horrible.
A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road
Poor road conditions. Okay, now we're starting to get problems in the city. We're gonna have to do something about that. Oh, I hate it, but I'm gonna have to knock down somebody's house to put up this park. It just seems like there's horribleness in the middle of the city, and there's nothing I can do about it. Sorry, folks. I hope that makes for some happiness. Alright, looks like we need to do this a few more times. Welcome to your new park. Yay. Alright, and new park up here. Hey, I didn't have to knock anybody down. Alright, well that's good at least. But we did manage to get to where we needed to go. We've managed to get to our tiny town, and we're starting to solve some of the city's problems. The city now officially has problems to solve. So, big progression. Moving to a tiny town is a huge jump. We can now pick up loans for up to $400,000. We're getting that mixed housing, so that's going to be more apartment types. Vegetable farming, coal mining. Here's a whole new source of pollution. Communications, post offices, mail delivery. We don't have mail yet? Oh my god. Alright. Mobile networks and wireless broadband. Mailboxes, post office, radio mass. Pre-release programs. Prisoners are enrolled in educational programs before they're released from prison. This helps them integrate back into society and reduces the likelihood of committing crimes again. That's called recidivism. It is a serious problem in the real world as well. Stop just storing people. Start helping people become productive citizens once again and give them a path towards being able to vote again. Alright, back off my soapbox. Roadside parking fees, recycling, speed bumps, and energy consumption awareness. Well, energy consumption hasn't been a problem, but it probably will be very soon as we start to build towards big towns, large cities, thriving metropolises, and megalopolises. So again, thank you very much for joining me. I really enjoy this game, and I think you guys will too. There's so many improvements to discover. There's so much to just unearth in this game that is improved. City Skylines was a favorite of mine, and seeing this game just take everything that it did well and multiply it by like 1,000. I mean, it's hard to even wrap your head around all the things that have improved. So I'll continue this series as long as you guys are watching it. But for now, I'm Ron Burke, editor-in-chief for GamingTrend.com. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you again very soon.